Denmark have renewed an agreement on cooperating in green maritime technology and shipbuilding, reaffirming a long-term partnership in the sector. The renewal comes amid heightened tensions between Denmark and US President Donald Trump, who has said he wants to control Denmark's semi-autonomous island of Greenland to protect the Arctic region from security threats, including China. According to reports, China is willing to conduct joint research and development with Denmark on low-carbon and zero-carbon fuel-powered ship technologies and explore cooperation in the new energy vehicle sector. Ross Feingold joins us now. He's a political analyst. He joins us live from Taipei in Taiwan to discuss this further. Ross, an interesting story. How awkward is this timing for Denmark, given, of course, the rising tensions with Washington over Greenland and US concerns about Chinese influence in the Arctic?
I probably wouldn't read too much into this. China has MOUs and joint research and development cooperation projects with many countries around the world, including countries in Europe, whether that's on green tech, maritime, even space. China has international cooperation with countries that periodically are critical of China about human rights or Taiwan or other issues, including European countries. So it could just be a coincidence. I don't think Denmark is making much of a political statement or making some kind of statement with regard to Trump's desires for sovereignty over Greenland. Yeah, the timing's a little interesting, but again, in the scheme of things, this is really a minor issue, and the major issue is still, can Greenland, Denmark, and President Trump reach some kind of agreement?
Of course, this comes as both China and the United States stand on different wavelengths when it comes to environmental protection, etc. Is climate cooperation inseparable from geopolitics nowadays?
It's certainly something that distinguishes the current United States government, led by President Trump, from its predecessor under President Biden, and from Europe and China as well. So certainly cooperation on climate change and green tech is a space where China could say to other countries, and specifically the European countries, because in general, most European governments, whether they're from the right or the left, they do believe in the necessity of initiatives to combat climate change. So that is a space where China could continue to cooperate with those countries. Of course, when you start talking about the commercial ramifications, then that's another discussion. We see that most notably in the electric vehicle space, where a lot of countries are very concerned about imports from China, because China makes EVs very well, and they do it relatively low cost. So the science side, yes, for sure. This is an issue where China has an opening to deepen cooperation with European countries, with countries that are normally friendly to the United States. But the commercial ramifications are a different discussion.
Ross, of course, we've seen many European countries either meet or soon to meet Chinese officials, visit China within the past a couple of weeks or so. We, of course, see Carney visit Beijing, sign some deals there. We have the Finnish Prime Minister in Beijing right now. We have this, and of course we've got Starmer visiting China within the next few days. How do you assess how the European powers are walking that diplomatic tightrope between, most of which of course see the Beijing as a national security threat, but also of course can't ignore its influence in trade? How do you assess that?
Money talks. That's just the reality. So these European countries that at times are critical of China, in the past they certainly have been critical over issues like Hong Kong or Tibet or the Uyghur population in Xinjiang. In recent years, also more outspoken on Taiwan than they had been in the past. But they're willing to put all that aside to make some business deals, whether that's the major economies like France and Germany and the UK, or smaller economies, whether that's Finland or Belgium. They want do business with China, and that's very obvious. China's probably laughing because they said, wait, on the one hand, you were saying how terrible we are over human rights or religious freedom or Taiwan, but on the other hand, you're all coming here trying to make business deals with us. So that's just simply the reality of international trade. These European countries, they want to sell to China. They don't want China to sell too much to them, and they've been complaining about that and the so-called overcapacity of Chinese factories shipping their low-cost products around the world. But it's very, very clear that European countries want to sell their goods and services into China, and they still look at China as a market with a lot of potential going forward.
Ross, do stay with us.